Hay una exposición también de coches del futuro, vaya tele. Ah, mira, está aquí también el abuelo. Voy a hablar primero con el abuelo.
Hey, Artie. Officer.
Officer,
Oh, right. Don't blow your cover.
will you please keep your mind on the task at hand?
Can't talk right now.
Vale, Edna.
Spell it Brown. It's not exactly an obscure name.
I still don't see it on the list. I'm sorry.
Oh, for the love... Let me try this one more time. This is the Hill Valley Science Expo, right?
First annual.
Indeed. The purpose of our fair is to showcase cutting-edge technology.
That's right. And to burnish Hill Valley's reputation as a forward-thinking community.
And yet, you want to exclude the maker of the most revolutionary breakthrough of all.
It's not that I want to, but... Oh, dear.
Mr. Crockett! You do pop up at the oddest times. What are you doing here?
¿Qué estoy haciendo aquí? Separarte de Emmett. Prevenir un futuro terrible. Frustrar tus locos planes. Joder. Prevenir un futuro terrible me parece la menos lamentable de las respuestas para ella.
I need to...
Whatever it is, I hope you don't have to deal with Mr. Stonewall here. His sole function seems to be preventing people from accomplishing their business. Honestly, with him keeping the books, it's a wonder the Tannen gang got as far as they did. Have you seen Emmett?
Madre mía, es que no me deja hablar. Pues no, no lo he visto.
no.
Oh, then you've heard all about his big breakthrough, the mental alignment meter. Isn't it exciting? And to think, he didn't even realize the import of his discovery until I pointed it out to him. I've never known anyone like him, so oblivious to his own potential.
I kind of wanted to talk to you about Emmett and his potential.
Funny, I didn't spot it myself at first. In fact, for the longest time, I thought I didn't even like him.
Jaja.
Yeah.
Vale, las primeras impresiones son muy importantes, ¿eh?
Well, you know, those gut instincts are important. If you disliked him right off the bat.
Oh, but I didn't know him then. Now I know him inside and out.
Yeah, but...
I appreciate your concerns, Mr. Crockett, but I can take care of myself. I know what I'm looking for in a man, and it so happens Emmett fits the bill to a T. That's Emmett Brown. Rhymes with clown, which I'm beginning to think you are.
Just a simple mix-up, I'm sure.
I've no doubt of that.
Vale, ha dicho Mr. Callahan y no Mr. Crockett. Pero en inglés lo ha dicho bien Mr. Crockett, así que... Es un pequeño bug de... No sé si de la traducción o del juego, pero tampoco es totalmente importante. ¿Vale?
I'm not sure if I've learned everything I can from Edna.
Ajá. Vale. Claro, tengo que preguntarle qué es lo que le gusta de... ¿Qué es lo que le atrae de Emmett? Era una de las opciones de diálogo que no he agotado.
You said that Emmett fits your bill of requirements for a man.
Yes?
What would that list be exactly?
You'd make a good reporter, Mr. Crockett. You know that?
Ahora sí la ha hecho,
His
la ha puesto
physical
bien.
appearance, for one thing. Emmett may not be Clark Gable, but he cleans up surprisingly well. I gave him my grandfather's white suit to wear at the expo. Oh, you should see him in it. He looks positively radiant.
Looks good in a suit. Got it.
And he's completely devoted to me. That's important. I've got no time or tolerance for playboys.
Faithful as a Labrador. Check.
Thirdly, and most important,
Yes?
well, his mind, of course. It's brilliant, and it's virtuous through and through. His own mind map shows him to be a model citizen.
Good brain. I see. And if it turned out that you were mistaken about any of these qualities,
Say, what's your game?
just curious, just trying to understand the female mind.
Well, understand this. I'm not some faint-hearted girl who'd run away at the first hint of trouble. I've made a big investment in Emmett. Not money, but I've sunk all my ambitions into him. I'd have to be thoroughly disillusioned before I'd call it quits with Emmett. Got it?
Perfectamente.
Now, Mr. Cub Reporter, is there anything else?
nada más. Entonces, 3 cosas que tenemos que hacer de Emmett Brown, del joven. El traje tiene que estar desaliñado. Segundo, tiene que ser un playboy. Y tercero, tiene que parecer tonto, básicamente. ¿Vale? Vamos a intentar agotar las líneas de diálogo a ver si nos da algo de información adicional. ¿Emmett es un imán de chicas?
Rather hard for me to picture Emmett as a chick magnet.
Chick magnet.
A guy who gets the girls, motors running.
Motors?
Who makes them, you know.
You mean a chic?
Yeah.
Well, it's a matter of taste, I suppose, but when he's properly pomaded and decked out in my grandfather's white suit, Emmett just glows. Makes my heart flutter a bit just to picture him.
Vale, no conoces a Emmett como yo.
You say you know Emmett is a model citizen, but you don't know him as well as I do. Did you know he once cheated some Libyans out of plutonium?
Plutonium? What would Libyans want with plutonium? I'm sure he had a very good reason. Emmett's mind map demonstrates conclusively his brain is oriented toward virtue.
Robó un tren, es verdad.
This one time, to power one of his science experiments, Emmett hijacked a train.
Please, there hasn't been a train hijacking in Hill Valley since the days of Mad Dog Tannen.
Sí, precisamente. Mi vicedirector lo odia, es verdad.
Emmett's done a lot of shady things in his time. My vice principal warned me to stay away from him.
Your vice principal sounds like a dolt.
Ya, es tu hijo. Y qué bueno que me esté sentando la cabeza.
So you say Emmett only has eyes for you?
Absolutely. It's almost embarrassing how devoted he is to me.
Well, it's good to hear he's finally settling down.
Yes. Settling down?
You know, ready to stop playing the field, as it were.
Playing the... Oh, you're joking.
Vale. Emmett es un
I
rompecorazones.
can't help feeling sorry for him.
Who?
All of Emmett's other girls, now that he's with you.
Please, I think I know Emmett by now. There are no other girls.
Tiene una pequeña libreta negra.
I wonder what's gonna happen to Emmett's little black book.
Little Black Book?
Oh, it's legendary. That's what enabled Emmett to become the, Valentino of Hill Valley High. Gee, I wonder if he'd let me have it.
You must think I'm pretty gullible, Mr. Crockett.
Vale. Vamos en buen camino. ¿Qué es el medidor de alineación mental?
What the heck is this mental alignment meter of Emmett's?
Oh, it's an absolutely revolutionary invention. Measures a person's affinities, what he's attracted to, what he's repulsed by, that sort of thing.
Interesting.
Vale.
And it really works?
Well, of course. What's the point of inventing something that doesn't work? Or anyway, it works well enough for my purposes.
Vale. Bueno, pues ese medidor nos puede ayudar si lo trucamos para que vea que no son compatibles. Vale. Bueno, pues ya
That's
creo
all the questions I got.
Very
que
well,
tengo la información necesaria. Uy, mira.
Hey, Audie, you seen my Oriole?
You mean this?
Yeah, thanks.
She gets to come and go freely, and I'm forced to wait. I love it.
Vale, convence a Edna de que Emmett la engaña. Vale, ¿este chico qué hace?
Hey, excuse me.
Yeah?
When does the expo
Not till
open?
tonight. Anybody without official business here, please get off the grounds! You got official business here?
No.
Yeah.
Well, stay out of the way of the workers. You look familiar. Do I know you?
Sí.
Nope.
Estaba en el bar ilegal. Vale. Trixie. Igual tú me puedes ayudar. Igual.
To all who approach these hallowed halls, I bid thee welcome. To all who approach these hallowed halls, I bid thee welcome. To all who... Oh, hiya, kid. Say, aren't you the fellow who...
Got you to turn on Kid Tannen? You bet.
You look younger without your mustache. That was a dirty trick, you know, making me think Kid had gone and iced Audie.
I'm sorry, but it was the only way I could.
Forget about it. I'm trying to. Yesterday's in the past. That's my motto. You gotta live for today.
Right.
So what are you doing down here anyway? Do you wish to pull the levers that control the future?
Pues sí.
At the expo, silly. Technology for a better tomorrow and all that.
Oh, yeah, that's actually why I'm here.
Vale. Ayúdame a poner celosa a Edna. Esto sería ya directo. ¿Qué haces?
So, who are you supposed to be?
Don't you know your Homer? I am Techni Muse of Progress. You can tell by the lightning bolts.
Must have slept through that class.
I'm supposed to be a goddess-like. I'm the one who inspires all the great men who make the discoveries. And women too. Leave us not forget Madame Curie.
I never would. So, you work for the expo?
Yeah, ain't it a kick? I greet all the important guests. And on the final day, I get to bestow the golden sundial on the winning contestant.
Vale. Bonito disfraz, por cierto.
Techni, Muse of Progress. Not a bad gig.
Artie got it for me. It's my entree into respectability.
Vale. Artie trabaja aquí, ¿verdad?
So, Artie's working for the expo too, huh?
Oh, Artie's doing swell. The papers made a big deal of him testifying against Kid. People have been beating down his door ever since the trial. The expo's darn lucky they could get him.
¿Y qué hace aquí?
What's Artie's job?
Oh, he's a real high muckety-muck at the expo. He's in charge of all the money and the hiring and firing.
Hey, not bad.
You're telling me, and super respectable too. It's a real relief for him to have a job where the boss never pulls a gun on him.
Claro, después de que condenaran a Tannen, a Kid Tannen, pues él ganó en popularidad.
It's good to see that you and Artie are both doing okay.
We're more than okay. And if things keep going the way they're going, we may be more than just friends before
Esperemos.
you know it.
Well, don't get too serious too fast.
Nah, we're keeping things casual, for now.
Good. I'm sure Grandma will appreciate that.
Pero ella es su abuela. ¿O no? Claro, es que Trixie es su nombre artístico, ¿no? A lo mejor es su verdadera abuela y ella dice que, y él le está diciendo que no vayan demasiado en serio porque cree que es su abuela a quien tiene que conocer. Locura, ¿no? Vale, me alegra que estéis felices. ¿Cómo está Kid? ¿Qué hay sobre la expo?
Whose idea was it to put a science and technology expo in Hill Valley?
Beats me. Audie says it's all bred in circuses. But I ain't seen a single clown yet today.
Muy lista, muy lista, muy lista. No es, pero bueno. ¿Cómo está Kid?
How's Kid's trial going?
Slowly. You know what they say. The wheels of justice grind slowly, but infinitely fine.
Except in Hill Valley, where they don't move at all.
What?
Nothing. It's just, you know, something I heard once. So no regrets about turning him in?
None at all. I should have known better than to take up with him in the first place. But what can I say? I was dumb. I let myself get taken in by his charm.
Charm?
¿Que Tannen tenía encanto? Bueno, ayúdame a poner celosa a Edna, anda.
Listen, I've got a proposal for you. I have this friend, right?
No dice. I'm only seeing Audie now.
It's not like that. See, my friend's in a relationship with Edna Strickland.
Oh, poor schmuck. I wouldn't wish her on anyone.
Then you see where I'm coming from. He won't listen to reason, but I thought she might call it off if she thought he and you were, you know.
Ah, you are an evil imp, ain't ya?
Sí,
Sometimes a guy's got to resort to underhanded tricks. What do you say?
Sorry.
Ah,
Edna might be a pill, but if I play dirty tricks on every dame who disapproves of me, well, I'd play a lot of dirty tricks. Besides, such stunts are beneath the dignity of Techni, Muse of Progress.
ya. Porfa, ayúdame.
look, my friend Emmett really needs help.
The one who's going out with Edna Strickland? You're darn right he needs help.
I'm not asking you to actually seduce him. Just make her think that you two have a thing going. It'll drive her crazy.
I guess it would.
So,
I wouldn't do that to another girl unless I was good and mad at her. And besides, it might tarnish my image as a muse.
Jo. Pues nada, tengo que encontrar...
see you, Trixie.
From this chamber of wonders, meses, we bid you a fond adieu.
Tengo que encontrar otra manera. Vale. Creo que la única forma... Bueno, ya he hablado con Edna y ya sé lo que tengo que hacer para que se desenamore de Emmett Brown, del joven. A ver si me puede echar una mano este hombre.
Good. You're back. Give me the full report.
She says she likes you because you've got a virtuous mind, you look good in a suit, and you're completely faithful to her.
Damn, she's got me dead to rights.
Mhm.
Well, you'll just have to find a way to change her mind.
Ya.
I'll be here if you need any help.
¿Necesita
Need any
ayuda?
help?
Pues sí. Vale. Primero, trato de convencer a Trixie para que nos
I
ayude.
suggested a little scheme to Trixie, but I don't know if she's gonna go along with it.
Pursue whatever strategies you like, but please don't tell me the details.
¿Dónde está tu joven yo?
Any idea what your teenage self is doing right now?
Unless I miss my guess, he's in the garage frantically working on his latest invention and cursing because he can't quite get it to work. Damn.
Vale, entonces está en su laboratorio. ¿Cómo nos deshacemos de Edna?
So, what do we do about Edna?
Only one thing we can do. Lie. Make me out to be a less desirable catch than I really am.
Ya.
Why would she believe me? She said she knows you inside and out.
Then you'll have to resort to skullduggery. You've done it before. You gotta be getting good at it by now.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Sí, es lo que me ha dicho. Antes, que tengo que mentir, tengo que hacer que sea poco apetecible. ¿Cómo está el DeLorean?
Have you figured out what's wrong with the time circuits?
Not sure. Possibly. It seems to me to be a simple wiring issue, but I'm double checking to make sure. All the basic equipment appears to be functional.
Any chance I could borrow the DeLorean? I want to drop in on young you at the lab.
Well, I don't know. The time circuits...
Listen, I promise I won't take it to 88.
Even so, I'm worried about letting it out of my sight while it's still behaving unpredictably. Tell you what, I'll take it on a test drive 1 minute into the past. If it passes the test, I'll let you borrow it.
It worked! Didn't it?
I'm afraid not. In fact, the discrepancy appears to be getting worse. I arrived 6 hours ago.
Oh, too bad.
I didn't want to risk undoing any of the work you've done thus far, so I kept out of sight. But the time lag wasn't entirely a waste. I stopped by the hardware store and bought the parts for a chronometric analyzer.
Bueno,
A what?
A diagnostic device. See, I plug it into the time circuits and set them to cycle. When the green light goes off, I should have the data I'll need to understand the scope of the problem.
Hey, no driving the exhibits off the lot!
Looks like you'll have to find another set of wheels if you want to get to the lab.
vale. Allí hay una furgoneta. He dicho que me hace falta algún medio de transporte para ir al laboratorio. Así que... Sutilmente nos han enseñado que hay aquí una furgoneta, camión.
No keys. I'll have to find my wheels somewhere else.
Vale, no están las llaves. Pero aquí hay una puerta, ¿no? Quizás es de este puesto. Diorama.
Press button to experience future Hill Valley, circa 1981.
En 1981, ¿sabes?
I don't think I've visited that timeline yet.
Agricultural advances will make it a breeze to feed our burgeoning population. Tired of waiting for Mother Nature to do her job? Just press a button. Presto! An artificial rainstorm drenches the valley's thirsty crops.
Lluvia a placer.
The century looks bright for our fair metropolis. Jump with us 50 years into the future for a peek at Hill Valley circa 1981. Courtesy of Hal's Hardware and the collective imagination of mankind. Could this be our venerable town square? Yes, indeed. Though the form looks strange and new, the function remains the same as ever. But where are all the people? Why, they're underground. A network of burrows extends a mile into the earth, giving future Hill Valley's 10 million citizens plenty of space to work, play, and raise their families.
Hill Valley bajo tierra. 10 millones de personas. Jo.
Of course, our residents will want to venture forth into the fresh air occasionally. And what better excursion than a pleasure ride in this elevated super train of tomorrow?
Un paseo circular por la plaza del pueblo. Vale.
And after the rain, what else? An artificial rainbow, reassuring all the good people of Hill Valley that their needs are taken care of, and life is sweet.
Arcoiris artificial.
Pleasant dreams, Hill Valley. And the Expo would like to remind you that you can find everything you need to transform your dreams into reality at Hal's Hardware. Hal's Hardware, serving our fair city since 1895.
Vale. Hay algo. La corte del futuro.
I wish the courthouse did look like that in 1981.
Sí, estaría bien. Tren del futuro.
My
Oh.
future wouldn't be built so shoddily.
Hi, Miss Strickland. I was just...
Break what you like, Mr. Crockett. It's no skin off my nose. Just keep away from Emmett's booth. Speaking of whom, I better go see what's keeping him.
Lo revisaré por ti. Voy a ver qué está haciendo Emmett.
I'll go check on him for you. I was just heading there anyway.
No, you weren't. The last thing he needs is another distraction at the 11th hour.
But...
Tut tut. Not another word. I've got the rest of the day all mapped out.
Miss Strickland!
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. Heavens, you shaved off your hair, but Carl Sagan?
I'd like a word with you, if I may.
I'm not sure it would be seemly for me to be seen in the company of an alleged arsonist.
I think it may be in your best interest. You see, I know what you're up to.
Let's go somewhere where we can talk privately.
Go. I'll keep her occupied till you get back.
Gracias. Vale. Voy a ver un momento de nuevo el diorama, pero creo que ya he cogido lo que necesitaba, que era el tren. Un momento. Tren skateboard, ya.
The underside of this future train model looks familiar. I wonder if it can ollie.
Vale. ¿Me puedo enganchar al camión?
It's not as nice as my truck back in 86. Jeez, I hope I still have a truck back in 86.
Es que no sé si lo podré utilizar y colgarme detrás.
I'm not sure what good a train would do there.
Vale. Bien, ¿y cómo voy? ¿Habrá una salida? ¿O algo? Calle.
Hang on, Emmett. Hope you're ready for a big breakup.
Eso es. Bueno, no ha sido súper intuitivo, pero
Emmett?
aquí estoy. ¿Qué?
Thanks again for your assistance, Detective Parker.
Detective? What the hell is Kid doing here?
Nothing criminal, I assure you. I was just getting a mind map of Mr. Tannen for our exhibition at the Expo. The authorities wouldn't allow Edna and I to stage a demonstration of the mental alignment meter with a violent felon, but this little baby is just as good. Okay, let's see now what's next. Check the stew, sort the maps. Ooh, I almost forgot that.
Edna really is cracking the whip, isn't she?
Well, yes, but she's got my best interests at heart. Without her, I can get so distracted. Did she send you down here to check up on me?
Yeah, she wanted to come herself, but...
She's busy too, I know. Well, you're a poor substitute for Edna's lovely features, but make yourself at home.
Thanks.
No thanks are necessary. Without you, I'd never be where I am now, in love with the woman of my dreams, and a mere 6 hours from my first public triumph as a scientist. Wait a minute. 6 hours? Jumping Jehoshaphat, I'm running out of time!
Vale. Convence a Edna de que Emmett no es un ciudadano modelo. Pues lo tenemos súper fácil, ¿no? Impresora extraña. Voy a cambiar el mapa mental de Emmett con el de Tannen.
The mind of a degenerate criminal.
Sí.
It's Kid Tannen's mind map, as captured by our mind map helmet.
You could tell he's a criminal just by looking at this?
No, but when it's fed into the mental alignment meter...
Weird.
Weird nothing. It's science.
Vale. Y no lo puedo cambiar. Máquina curiosa.
How does the mental alignment thing work?
Here, I'll show you.
Hey.
The test subject wears this mind mapping helmet, which probes the brain by measuring fluctuations in skin conductance and electrical resistance on the surface of the parietal lobe.
Uh-huh.
When I turn on the mind mapping helmet with this radio switch, the subject is exposed to a series of visual stimuli intended to provoke a series of positive or negative responses, as indicated by these lights on the helmet.
Hey, is that?
As the responses are recorded, they're relayed to this special typewriter, which prints out a punch card that represents the subject's mind map.
All I see is a bunch of holes.
Well, to you, maybe. But to our mental alignment meter, this mind map is nothing less than a peek into your subconscious. Observe as I place your mind map into the MAM.
Layabout. Is that
Perezoso.
machine calling me a slacker?
No, your own physiological responses did.
Vale. Vale. Pecera.
How goes the bacteria farm?
Not so hot. The bacteria have kind of gotten out of control. Had to put a clamp on the nitrogen tube to keep the stench from flooding the lab.
Vale, sería una buena idea, pero un poco más tarde. Yo quiero coger el mapa mental de Emmett y cambiarlo por el de...
If I'm gonna take Emmett's mind map, I better replace it with another one.
Con este.
Tannen's mind map. If Emmett's map looked like this, I bet Edna wouldn't think he's such a model citizen.
¿Por qué no lo coges? ¿Esto qué es? Lista de virtudes. Ah, claro.
I still got some work to do.
El traje. Que sea infiel y ciudadano modelo. Vale. Esto para que no nos lo recuerde. ¿Y esto?
It's supposed to have all of Doc's notes for building a time machine, but it's empty. If the real Doc were here, he'd probably say something like, "The timeline ripples have finally caught up with it. Hopefully once I fixed everything, it'll be full again."
Vale. Este libro es el que nos indicará si todo está correcto. Ahora está vacío. Cuando esté lleno quiere decir que Emmett lo ha rellenado y que ha conseguido pues, poner todos los detalles de la máquina del tiempo. Vale. Bien. Salida no. Yo tengo que... Pantalla de proyección, generador... Claro, este es donde hicimos en el primer episodio el cohete, ¿no?
I'd be careful of that if I were you.
Why?
The rocket fuel experiment must have stripped one of the teeth in the hand crank. As a consequence, if you turn it for more than 10 seconds, it... Whoa!
Descarga.
An electric shock.
Oh, vale. Entonces, dándole al generador, yo creo que el casco no funciona perfectamente bien. Exhibidor.
What's this?
It's the placard we'll be putting in front of our booth at the expo.
The scientist that caught Kid Tannen?
A small exaggeration, but Edna says it'll attract investors. What do you think of the picture?
No está bien.
You look a little... constipated.
What? Edna said I looked intense.
Yeah, intensely focused on taking it.
I get the picture. I'll have to find a better one. Unfortunately, there's a lot to choose from.
Heavy.
Extremely. Mother has been rather obsessive about photographically cataloging my life.
Vale, pues tenemos un montón de fotos. Que mirar. Tocadiscos no. Álbum de fotos.
Hey,
A ver.
I've got an idea.
What?
Why don't I take your photo album over to Edna so she can pick out your new picture?
That's a great idea. She's got a better eye for these things than I do anyway. Thanks, pal.
Don't mention it.
Vale. ¿Tocadiscos?
I Don't Care by Trixie Trotter?
Edna doesn't approve of that sort of music, but I find it very soothing. Oh.
They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't
Le gusta.
They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care.
Interruptor de prueba del mapa mental.
I am my own superintendent. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care.
No le gusta mucho. Un momento. ¿Tocadiscos?
Oh, that's the stuff.
They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent. I am my own superintendent. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care.
Lata de aceite.
What's this?
That's a can of used motor oil, rocket fuel waste, and assorted chemical sludge left over from my abandoned rocket car.
Gross.
Accounting doesn't enter into it, but it is disgusting. Would you mind disposing of it on your way out?
Sure.
I don't care. If I do get
Convence a Edna de que Emmett es una sabandija.
successful, it won't be distressful, 'cause I don't.
So this machine takes those little cards and tells you whether or not someone's a good guy or bad guy?
Kind of. Actually, the helmet does all the work. The mental alignment meter is just a glorified arcade machine.
So why not just go with the cards?
Edna says that people respond well to flashing lights and snap judgments. I can't argue with that. Every time I kiss her, I see flashing lights and lose all sense of judgment.
No kidding.
Vale. Voy a intentar darle al generador. Y aquí... No, a la olla de guisado no. Al interruptor. Pero no está escribiendo nada. Vale. No sé cómo puede salir aquí. De la impresora. A ver, la impresora de mapas
What's
mentales.
this typewriter do again?
During a mental alignment test, it takes messages from the mind map helmet and turns them into punch cards, like the one for Mr. Tannen over there.
Seems complicated.
Actually, it was all rather easy to put together, once Edna gave me the idea.
Sounds to me like you should be working on harder problems then.
What? Sorry, I've got to get back to work.
Vale. Había otra cosa por aquí. Olla. ¿Dónde está? Aquí. Olla de guisado.
Hey, Emmett, what's cooking?
That's an old Brown family recipe for Hassenpfeffer.
Hassenpfeffer.
Rabbit stew. The trick is to add the cumin an hour after the carrots. Take a whiff. Isn't that just about the best thing you've ever smelled in your life?
It's, powerful, yeah.
I've got it on a slow boil for later.
Vale. Bueno, pues tengo aquí todos los elementos. Mapa mental de Emmett.
If I'm gonna take Emmett's mind map, I better replace it with another one.
Tendría que reemplazarlo con este.
I'd swap Tannen's card with Emmett's, but it's got Tannen's name on it. I'll just have to generate a new mind map for Emmett.
Ajá, claro. Tengo que generar uno nuevo con las cosas negativas, supongo. Válvula. A ver.
Phew.
Ugh, did the clamp fall off again?
Yeah.
Put it back on. Well, I don't even know why I keep that bacteria tank around. Every time the clamp falls off the nitrogen tube, it takes a couple of minutes before I can get the stench out of the air. Whew.
Vale. Pero no hay ninguna tarjeta. Pila de mapas, vale.
What's this?
The mind map cards from the dozens of subjects I've tested during the last few weeks. I've got to get them sorted before the expo begins.
Why?
Edna's got this grand scheme to catalog all of Hill Valley citizens by their mental alignment.
Oh, madre mía.
Isn't that cute?
Not really.
Está intentando coger el mapa mental de todas las personas de Hill Valley. Eso no es nada bueno. Vale. ¿Y cómo puedo coger? Porque esta es la impresora.
According to Emmett, this thing prints out mind maps.
Sí, pero necesito uno que esté vacío. Esto es lata de aceite.
I hope this stuff doesn't get stains all over my guitar.
Vale, pero sí se le puede dar al traje, ¿no? Para que aparezca horrible.
Emmett says this album has pictures of him all the way back to when he was a baby.
Vale, esto tendríamos que llevárselo a Edna. A ver si le puedo decir que haga otra nueva.
Hey, Emmett, got a sec?
Why, yes. In fact, I've got several. Hey, how'd my mind map test get activated?
A ver, ¿qué tan serio es lo tuyo con Edna? Todas esas cosas son parte de tu demostración en la expo. Inventaste esto en 2 meses. ¿Qué pasa con la nueva ropa? ¿Cómo están las cosas con tu padre?
How are things between you and your father? I'm kind of surprised he hasn't torn down your lab yet.
¿Verdad?
He's still angry with me and threatening to cut me out of his will, but I'm hoping that the civic potential of my mental alignment meter will win him over.
Vale, ¿qué pasa con la nueva ropa?
Hey, what's with the new threads?
You like them?
You look like Colonel Sanders.
Who?
Never mind.
Edna gave them to me. She says my usual clothes don't have enough zing for a public exhibition.
Vale. ¿Inventaste esto en 2 meses?
Can't believe you invented all this in 2 months.
Well, like I said, there's not really a whole lot of inventing going on here. I just dressed up a $5 potentiometer with a lot of bells and whistles.
But
Don't get me wrong, it does a remarkable job of telling whether a subject is currently liking or disliking what they're experiencing. But all the extra stuff about sorting out criminals from model citizens is mostly a bunch of hooey at this point.
Vale. Todas estas cosas son parte de tu demostración en la expo.
is all this new stuff what you're showing off at the expo?
Yes, it's our mental alignment meter.
Mental alignment meter?
Vale, esto ya nos lo ha explicado.
What's a mental alignment meter?
It's the most revolutionary piece of technology since the cotton gin.
What does it do?
It reads and interprets the subconscious desires of the human mind.
Examinar la mente.
Why would you want to probe people's minds?
Why wouldn't you? Imagine being able to diagnose mental disorders with a flick of a switch, or detect the truthfulness of courtroom testimony merely by connecting a witness to a small portable device.
Your machine does all that?
Not yet. Frankly, right now, the whole thing's just a gussied-up potentiometer. But with years of refinements and a whole lot of investors, the MAM will be able to identify countless psychosis and neurosis, alcoholism, acrophobia, Oedipal complexes.
And?
And then we can set about curing them, of course.
Of course.
Como idea, sí, podría tener un sentido, ¿no? Con ese aparato se podrían detectar, pues, conductas y potencialidades.
Anyway,
¿Lo hiciste tú?
did you make a mind map of yourself?
Of course. Take a look.
Edna's right. You are a model citizen.
At least as far as my invention's concerned. Confidentially, this whole enterprise is a little light on the hard science and a little heavy on the smoke and mirrors.
Vale. ¿Qué tal es? ¿Qué tan serio es lo tuyo con Edna?
So, you and Edna, how serious are you guys?
Well, we both enjoy a good joke every now and then, but I'd say on the whole we're fairly serious people. Why do you ask?
No. What I mean is, how serious is your relationship?
Oh, well, as a scientist, I can't state this with 100% confidence, but I'm provisionally certain that I'm head over heels in love.
Really? With Edna?
What can I say? She's my muse. In the week since we've been courting, she's given me so many wonderful ideas.
Vale. ¿Inventaste esto en 2
I can't believe you
meses?
invented all this in 2 months.
Well, like I said, there's not really a whole lot of inventing going on here. I just dressed up a $5 potentiometer with a lot of bells and
Vale.
whistles.
But
Don't get me wrong, it does a remarkable job of telling whether a subject is currently liking or disliking what they're experiencing. But all the extra stuff about sorting out criminals from model citizens
No me da
is
más
mostly a bunch
información.
of hooey at this point.
Bueno, pues vamos a ver Frankenstein.
what do you say we take a break for a couple of hours and go see a movie?
Couple of hours?
Actually,
No
it would be
puede.
more like 70 minutes.
I haven't got a couple of hours. I still got all these mind maps to sort, and the MAM's wiring is still giving me fits, and...
I get it, you're busy.
Vale. Bueno, pues es que no se me
You're
ocurre
busy. Why don't we talk later?
Sure
qué
thing.
más hacer aquí. Voy a intentar de nuevo encender el medidor. Pero claro,
This thing reads Emmett's mind maps.
primero impresora. Vale.
According to Emmett, this thing prints out mind maps.
Venga. Dice cambiador de fotos. Cambiador de fotos.
Nothing happened.
Well, that button advances the slides during the mind mapping test. It only works while the test is running.
Vale, pues entonces tengo que darle. Cambiar la foto. Quizás. Vale. No sé. ¿Este que es el pequeño Emmett? No sé quién es. Vale. Vamos a ver cuál es el resultado.
That's
Perezoso.
not a great reading, but if I really want to get Emmett in trouble, I better aim for the bottom.
Vale. Me he dicho en alguna ocasión, si me atasco, prefiero no darle a las pistas, sino ir avanzando, ver qué es lo que no funciona, etc. Llevo un rato intentando encontrar el modo de conseguir la tarjeta que diga que Emmett es un ciudadano pésimo y que no le guste a Edna. Pero como no lo encuentro, lo que voy a hacer es volver a la exposición y ver si ahí me falta algo.
I've gotta go out for a while.
I thought Edna sent you to make sure I wasn't getting distracted.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Vale. Si me deja irme es porque puedo. Quiero decir, si esto no vale para nada, editaré esta parte, ¿vale? Pero... igual es que me falta algo. Carpa de autos del futuro.
Come see the cars of the future.
Venga,
Brought to
a
you
ver.
by Statler DeSoto.
Venga, a ver, los autos del futuro. DeLorean. Aquí está Edna hablando con Carl Sagan, ya sabéis, ¿no? Hay... Bueno, aquí sí que no he hecho nada en el volcán. En la otra parte donde estaba el... La ciudad futurista, sí que había...
That volcano looks a lot like the one I did for my 7th grade science fair.
¿Qué iba a decir? La ciudad futurista es donde cogimos el monopatín del tren, ¿no? Del monorail. Igual de aquí hay que coger algo. Cavernícola.
Furs donated by Lamont's House of Ermine. At least
Todo-
they're going to a good cause.
Patrocinado.
They're stuck tight in this tar.
Vale, la piel no la podemos coger. Diorama.
Press button to experience Hill Valley's primeval past. Okay, if this dinosaur is called a Tanninosaurus, I'm gonna... Oh. Whew.
Qué mal chiste. Tanenosaurio. Vale. Diorama. Carpa de autos del futuro. Volcán.
That volcano looks a lot like the one I did for my 7th grade science fair.
Ujú. Tiene que haber algo. Aquí dice que del cavernícola no se puede separar esa piel, pero tengo algo... ¿Lata de aceite?
Ugh, I hope this stuff doesn't get stains all over my guitar. I don't want to get that covered in any messy oil.
Claro, no lo quiere cubrir de aceite. Bueno, pues igual aquí no hace... Bueno, el volcán, quizás. Con aceite.
I don't want to get that covered in any messy oil.
No. Pues nada, aquí tenemos un cavernícola. No sé si habrá que hacer algo con él, pero parece que no hay nada más. Dinosaurio.
Maybe when Real Doc comes back, we'll take a trip to see a dinosaur.
Ujú. Vale, pues parece que no hay nada por aquí, parece. Tampoco he interactuado con este. Y con Arthur parece que tampoco había nada, ¿no? Cuando se quedó solo.
Hey, Artie.
Hey, Mr. G-Man.
G-Man.
How's the, undercover operation?
If everything goes as planned, we should be wrapping things up real soon now.
Well, when it's time for me to play my part, just say the word.
Vale. ¿Has conocido a Silvia?
You haven't met Sylvia yet, have you?
My contact person? Not yet. Is he or she at the expo?
I don't think so, and I'm pretty sure it'll be a she.
Yo es que creía que Trixie era su abuela, pero su abuela es Silvia. ¿Por qué le dice Trixie se ve bien?
I like Trixie's new outfit.
Cost the expo $14.89, but it was worth every penny. After all, she's the public face of the expo. Techne, muse of progress.
Ujú. ¿Cómo es la vida sin
I
Kid?
don't suppose you miss working for Kid Tannen.
No siree, Bob. I don't know how I ever got mixed up with an abusive, gun-toting thug like that. He even stiffed me on overtime pay.
Vale. ¿Cómo marcha la expo?
Think the Hill Valley Expo will be a success?
I don't see why not. Why shouldn't California have its own high technology center?
Como Silicon Valley, ¿no? Vale. Sujeto de las
So
inscripciones.
you're the registration guy for the expo?
And chief accountant and paymaster.
Hey, you're coming up in the world.
And none of it would have happened if I hadn't responded to that subpoena.
Vale. Mantente atento por Silvia, por si viene.
Keep your eyes open for Sylvia.
What should I do when I meet her?
Just let nature take its course.
En teoría conocerá a esta Silvia, porque si no, no estaría Marty aquí. ¿Vale? Probablemente haya repetido algún diálogo, pero
Doing what you're doing, Grandpa.
como he dicho
Grandpa. That's our code name for you.
Oh, ha! Funny.
Me ha llamado abuelo. Igual he repetido algún diálogo, pero como decía, estoy intentando ver si me falta algo por aquí. Chico, puerta frontal, chico.
Yeah?
When does the expo
Not till
open?
tonight. Anybody without official business here, please get off the grounds.
Vale, vale. No puedo entrar. Y si quiero entrar, este me tapan, me bloquea.
Yeah?
When does the expo
Not till
open?
tonight. Anybody without official business here, please get off the grounds.
Vale, vale. Porque le he dado a la puerta frontal, ¿verdad?
Yeah?
Sí.
When does the
Es que
expo
no
open?
sabía...
Tonight.
Que sí, que sí.
Anybody without
Es que no sabía si le había
official
dado a la
business
puerta
here,
o a él.
please get off the grounds.
Pero me dice siempre el mismo diálogo, así que nada. Bueno, Trixie, a ver si puedo hacer algo más con ella.
To all who approach these hallowed halls. What's cooking?
Ideas. Up here.
A ver, me alegra ver que tú y Artie estén felices.
It's good to see that you and Artie are both doing okay.
We're more than okay. And if things keep going the way they're going, we may be more than just friends before you know it.
Well, don't get too serious too fast.
Nah, we're keeping things casual for now.
Good. I'm sure Grandma will appreciate that.
Es que no está convencido de que Trixie sea su abuela. Es que es un poco confuso porque igual Trixie es el nombre artístico y realmente se llama Silvia, ¿no? Vale. Ayúdame con Edna.
Look, my friend Emmett really needs help.
The one who's going out with Edna Strickland? You're darn right he needs help.
I'm not asking you to actually seduce him. Just make her think that you two have a thing going. It'll drive her crazy.
I guess it would.
So,
I wouldn't do that to another girl unless I was good and mad at her. And besides, it might tarnish my image as a muse.
Vale, tengo que hacer que Trixie se enfade mucho con Edna. ¿Vale?
see you, Trixie.
Don't be a stranger.
Para que acceda a... Eso es. Para que acceda a seducir, aunque sea de manera ficticia, a Emmett. A ver si puedo hablar con Edna, que está aquí.
Can I talk to you a minute, Miss Strickland?
Surely. Excuse us a moment.
It's like this.
Hablé con Trixie.
I found out about Trixie Trotter.
Yes?
Apparently they made her some sort of queen of the festival. Techne, the muse of progress.
They didn't. Well, they said this expo would give Hill Valley a reputation. I didn't realize this is what they meant.
What have you got against Trixie?
It's the idea of it. Allowing our city to be represented by a woman like that. I won't stand for it. As a socially conscious citizen, I demand you discharge that muse.
Trixie? What's wrong with her?
Oh, she's hardly qualified for an honorific post at a public event.
Look, lady, she fits the costume. She's an American citizen, and she managed to memorize all her lines. What more qualifications do you want?
Oh, these people are impossible.
¿Quieres hacer que despidan a Trixie?
Why do you want to get Trixie fired?
One simply can't allow women like that to attain positions of respect in society. It creates a very bad precedent for the future.
Does it?
But try telling it to this poor sap. She's got him completely steamrolled. That's how they operate.
Is it?
Still, I could get her discharged if I had the goods on her. No doubt a woman like that has left a trail of scandal, and I'd find it if I were still a reporter. But I haven't got time to do the legwork now. I'm too busy with Emmett and his invention.
Vale. Entonces tengo que descubrir trapos sucios de Trixie para que la despidan, así se enfaden y Trixie intente seducir.
So you wouldn't hesitate to get Trixie fired
Emmett.
from her job?
If I had the goods on her. She's obviously got her employer completely bamboozled. The The only way to snap him out of his spell would be to show him something really shocking.
Vale. Tiene una pequeña libreta negra. Libretita
I
negra.
wonder what's gonna happen to Emmett's little black book.
Little black book.
Ah, bueno, esta es la de Emmett.
Oh, it's
Vale,
legendary.
vale, vale.
That's what enabled Emmett to become the Valentino of Hill Valley High. Gee, I wonder if he'd let me have it.
You must think I'm pretty gullible, Mr. Crockett.
Vale. Y... uf. Es que si le doy la
That's
libreta...
all the questions I got.
Very well, then.
Si le doy la libreta a Trixie, ¿escribirá algo? O si se la doy a Doc, ¿no? Para que lo escriba de su puño y letra.
Hey, Doc. I mean, Mr. Sagan.
Excuse me a moment, Miss Strickland. I've got her neutralized for the moment. How's the plan proceeding on your end?
Bueno, regular. A ver. Ese aparato conectado al DeLorean.
About that gizmo you've got hooked up to the DeLorean?
Espera.
Chronometric analyzer?
Yeah, what am I supposed to look for again?
A signal that it's done evaluating the time circuits. The analysis can take a while. Be sure to let me know when the light turns green, and I'll take her out for another test run.
Vale. ¿Habéis visto que estaba el hombre que estaba sirviendo la sopa? Está allí en el fondo. Antes no estaba, ¿eh? O al menos no lo vi. Vale, sobre Edna.
It's about Edna.
Don't worry, she's not going anywhere right now.
Vale.
That's good, but
Dime algo de ella.
have you found out anything that can help me?
Only that she's stubborn, argumentative, and completely convinced of her own moral superiority.
Great, thanks, Doc. That really helps.
¿De qué hablan?
What are you two talking about anyway?
It's a private matter. I promised I'd keep it between us, for the present.
Esto es como una locura. Porque yo estoy hablando con este Doc como si fuera mi Doc. Pero no lo es. Es el Doc de una línea temporal alternativa en la que él ha estado viviendo toda su vida siguiendo las órdenes de Edna, con la que está hablando de ella de joven. Y no me ayuda. ¿Empieza a gustarte otra vez?
She isn't starting to get under your skin, is she?
Heavens no. The memory of her older self wheeling me into the reconditioning chamber is just
Ya.
too strong. The younger version is decidedly more attractive.
Claro, es lo que decía hace un segundo. Él realmente ha vivido como Edna en el futuro intentaba torturarle y borrarle la memoria prácticamente. Bueno, hablando de...
On another subject,
Less distasteful, I hope.
Sí, los jóvenes tú y Edna. ¿Nunca miraste a alguien más?
is it true that you only had eyes for Edna?
At that time, I'm afraid so. I always tended to idealize the opposite sex. I was educated in a boys' school, and Jules Verne was always a little sketchy with female characters.
You haven't got time for a therapy session, Doc.
Vale, tú en ese traje.
Edna made a point of saying that teenage you looked great in her grandfather's suit.
I did cut a fine figure in that suit. She hated it when I got it dirty.
Ensuciar el traje, la lata de aceite podría ser una opción, deshacerse del traje.
Maybe I could talk teenage you into losing the suit.
I
No
doubt it.
creo.
I knew how much that suit meant to Edna, and at that time, my only desire was to please her.
Vale, ensuciar el traje puede ser una opción y con eso... Porque habría que hacer tres cosas, ¿no? Primero, que viera a Emmett, al joven Emmett, como una persona respetable. Es decir, tenemos que hacer todo lo contrario, que lo vea como un desecho de la sociedad. Para eso necesitamos la máquina esta de que tiene en la cabeza, que eso todavía tengo que ver cómo. Segundo, tiene que aparecer como un seductor. Y para eso nos tiene que ayudar Trixie. Y para eso Edna y Trixie se tienen que pelear. Y lo tercero, el traje. El traje que tiene ahora Emmett tiene que estar sucio porque entonces Edna se cabreará. Y con esas tres cosas, el flechazo se desvanecerá. Vale, tienes una mente virtuosa. Eso lo
Is that
sabemos.
right when she said you had a virtuous brain?
I do indeed. No criminal tendencies whatsoever. Solid citizen through and through. That's how I was able to go so far in politics.
Yeah, I'm starting to miss Kid Tannen.
Vale. Pues sobre mi plan.
I think I'm starting to get a plan.
Good. Tell me. No, no. After all, it's my history we're talking about. If I learn how you're planning on altering it, my resolve may weaken.
Vale, pues no te puedo decir mi plan. ¿Hay aquí algo más? Trato de convencer a Trixie para que ayude.
I suggested a little scheme to Trixie, but I don't know if she's gonna go along with it.
Pursue whatever strategies you like, but please
Vale.
don't tell me the details.
No te diré los detalles. Vale. Pues solo me falta... Camión... No, pero yo quiero hablar con este. Cubol. Cubol. Con este no he hablado. ¿Puede ser esta la última de las conversaciones que no tenía para tener todo lo necesario para volver con Doc?
Hey, pal.
Oh, geez, this guy again.
Funny, I was gonna say the same thing.
Uf.